Welcome to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Every week, you can have the conversations you've always wanted to have about the films you love.
Shut up!
We're gonna get you. Not another peep.
Get rid of your distractions and prepare yourself.
Then lock your door. 5, 6, crucifix.
You got a big surprise coming to you. You're not going anywhere.
Welcome everybody to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Danny Bonin here.
Scotty Bonin here with you guys.
We are the Blood
Brothers.
That wasn't really on. And
no, that's okay. And the Rob O'Neill. Although that one worked better, guys. That one felt that one. That one felt good.
Yeah, that one felt really good. You know why it wasn't on? It's because we're not sitting across from each other.
we are dealing with some technical issues, but still attempting to record the episode. So apologies to everybody if the episode is a little choppy or we're cutting in and out, because all three of us are in different places right now.
Exactly. Danny's in Pagosa Springs, and I'm in Longmont, and Rob's at his house in Florida.
Yeah. That's just I'm hurricane survivor right here.
Yeah. How's the weather out there? You doing good?
It's beautiful. Like I slept through the entire hurricane. Like I didn't even move.
So the storm is
Good.
past. The storm is past.
Yep. We lost like some leaves.
What? That's it?
Yeah, that was
Good.
That was it. It was awesome.
Did it rain like crazy for a while?
No, it didn't even flood here.
So
good.
So people were freaking out, buying all the gas up. No batteries left in town, all for nothing.
Oh, there's no batteries. There's no ice. There's no gas. There's no canned food. There's no frozen food. And because they bought up all the fuel, like they don't know when like trucks are going to be able to make it in to restock a lot of stores, because all the diesel and everything else is gone.
Well, it's a good thing you work from home.
It is. I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
Yeah,
I'm loving life right now.
Just wake up, go and make yourself breakfast. Don't have to go outside and deal with all the chaos and all that shit that's going on. Hell yeah.
No, I mean, it was crazy. They put like what would you call it? They put like a curfew in town.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from 9 p.m. at night till 7 a.m. They did all this stuff. People were going crazy. And
really? It's a curfew?
Yep, and nothing happened. It was basically like a nasty thunderstorm.
I know you're upset. I know you're upset that you didn't get to bust out all your arsenal of guns, Rob, and shoot some mofos in the head.
Yeah, I mean, I was really hoping for looters. I bought another gun too. Oh. I got a looter gun.
What makes a looter gun a looter gun?
It's just this one is just it's not small for like concealed carry. Yeah. I got a big, huge, full size Beretta, like Mel.
Like
Beretta.
if there's like 10 people storming you, you can just take them out.
Oh yeah, I got like 500 rounds of 9mm in the closet. I didn't get to shoot not one person, not even one.
It.
Well,
that's why
everybody gets lucky, but me. You know, people in Miami are getting to shoot looters, not me.
Oh. Well, maybe you got to take a trip on down to Miami.
Yeah.
No.
Welcome to Miami.
Did they get fucked up down there?
Oh man, yeah, Miami got. They didn't even get like the eye of the storm so much, but they got all the bands off of it, and downtown Miami was under like 6.5 feet of water.
Really? Jeez, I thought the eye of the storm is the calmest place.
Well, like they have, in the center it is, but like the wall around it, that's where the 140 mile an hour wind and everything is. But like everybody thought it was going to hit Miami dead on, but it didn't. It ended up hitting the other side of the state and hitting the Keys, which it destroyed the Keys.
So the Keys is what was the worst.
That sounds like
anywhere.
That sounds like a Pinhead prank.
Yes.
I got your keys.
I got the keys.
Your Florida Keys. So the Florida Keys got the worst of the hurricane then.
Yeah, from all the videos and everything that I've seen, yeah, the Keys got wrecked, which they deserve. They deserve.
They deserve.
Yeah, if you got all that money to live on the Keys like that, then shoot, you deserve a hurricane or two.
Keys is where like all the rich people live, huh?
Oh yes, have a house on Key West is millions.
Well, let's talk. Let's talk about The Hills Have Eyes, huh?
Yeah, let's do it. The Hills have eyes.
We have to. Rob, what you didn't like this movie?
I did not like this movie.
You know what? It was okay. It was better. It was better than
everybody as we've gone through this. Like I have discovered directors that R.I.P. man, R.I.P. Wes Craven, but like he had some duds, people. like this movie was rough.
I don't think this one was a dud personally. I mean, I
thought it was.
It was nowhere near duddy as George Romero's The Crazies.
Oh no, or Marvin or insert other one. But the story was good. I will give it that. I did really dig the story, but and I am the Mr. No remake, no reboot guy. But I saw the remake of this, 2003 or something, that the remake was made.
I think 2006.
And then I watched this, and I'm like, I wonder what kind of shoestring budget they were on, because like there was no good effects in this movie.
I thought this was better than The Last House on the Left, though.
Oh yeah, this kind of reminded me of Last House on the Left. Like Wes Craven was crazy is like Last House on the Left. This movie are really intense, hard hitting, gruesome stories.
Yeah, they take the baby.
Like Freddy Krueger and Scream. Those are like like teen magazine. They're kind of girly kind of movies like that.
I know Rob. I know who
the story was intense. The story was really
it was. I
forgot about it. I'm like, they're gonna eat the fucking baby. Like,
that was rough.
Cannibalistic.
Don't misplace that tenderloin baby. I'm like, what the fuck? No, they're gonna eat it. No. Like, I thought they were gonna raise it as their own. No, they're planning on eating the baby.
Yeah, they're not gonna raise it as their own. They're gonna have Thanksgiving dinner.
That's like human filet mignon, dude. Human filet mignon right there. Little foie gras.
That's fucked up.
The dog is like the foie gras.
I wonder if that affected Danny any different now that he's got Stella.
Oh, dude, I was just steaming. I was like, I would fucking kill everybody if they took my baby.
Shannon, everybody's like, why is he so mad? Oh, he's watching a movie about baby thieving.
Oh, dude, everyone would be dead. Everybody.
Yeah, well, the Last House on the Left was 1972. This was 1977. So they did have more of a budget. I think the budget for Last House was $60K.
I think it was 90.
This was 200. Oh, 90K.
I thought it was 90, and
this was like 230 to 300K for this one.
Yeah, Rob, I know who your favorite character was. This is my impression.
Oh my god, dude! Shut up.
The only part of this movie that actually really upset me, because my kids are older now, and it's kind of like, maybe maybe not eat them, but take them off my hands for a while. Like, that's okay. But man, they killed Dee. They killed Dee Wallace.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I know, man.
I saw her in this movie. I'm like, oh yes. And then like
she's been in a lot of movies, yeah.
And then they just he randomly blindly shoots her and then shoots her again. And I'm like, no, you can't kill Dee Wallace. Like, I was actually upset about them.
Yeah, they left the loud one alive. They left the annoying, but she was sort of hot, but she was annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, she was. Yeah, there. Wes Craven, if I can remember, didn't Last House on the Left have that? Like, he just ear bleeding screams like
Yeah.
it never
man.
ended.
That's
Yep.
what it was back in the 70s. Screaming was like the horror thing. You
And
know? God, she would not shut up, man.
And Dee Wallace did a great job. The acting was on.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this was her first feature film.
She was
her
very.
first,
When
like,
I saw
big
her,
film.
she was very. You know, it kind of. You kind of stood back. You're like, man, she looks familiar. And then I saw the credits. I saw Dee Wallace in the credits, but I didn't recognize her because she was so young.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, that's Dee Wallace.
They actually offered
They killed her off, and she wasn't bad to look at.
No.
They actually offered the girl playing Ruby Dee Wallace's part first, but then she turned it down because she wanted to play Ruby instead, Janice Blythe. So I wonder if Dee Wallace would have been in it if Janice Blythe would have accepted the role of Dee Wallace's part, Lynn.
Yeah,
But yeah, Lynn was Dee Wallace was great. The whole cast was actually pretty solid.
yeah. I
Well-
like the dad. I even like the mustachioed son-in-law.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. The blonde-headed guy sort of looks like Chris Pine.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Chris Pine?
His name is
Who's
Robert
Chris Pine?
Houston.
Rob, don't you know things that people should know?
Rob, you know.
Don't you know things?
I can see that.
Huh, Rob?
I can see that.
I just like pissing Danny off.
You
Yeah,
really?
that's
No,
like
I don't.
Bobby.
I don't. I think he doesn't. I think he really doesn't know who Chris Pine is.
No,
Oh,
Chris
he does.
Pine. Chris Pine was in that. What was it? Hell or High Water.
Shit.
He was in the new
Yeah.
Hell or High
Yeah,
Water.
I haven't seen
Right.
that yet, but he's in it. Yes,
It's
Yes,
awesome.
he is.
him
Yeah,
and Ben Foster, right? Ben Foster.
Ben Foster.
Yes. The Jeff Bridges is in it. Lebowski's in it.
I
gotta
just want to
see that. I
say
gotta see that.
one of my favorite lines in the movie is, "If it's all the same to you, I'll put my faith in the good Lord."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was towards
we've
the
come
beginning.
down here from Lions, right? There was a flood.
There was a flood up in We're the Thompsons. And then, so the guy.
Man, that would have been, I can see the Thompsons in a Winnebago. I can see
God.
him traveling. We're going to Los Angeles. Well, you're a long way off. Oh, I know. We just figured we'd like to see the little places we haven't
beautiful
seen
desert.
before.
We're still commuting for church.
Pretty gas stations. You passed church miles ago, buddy.
What was the other good line that the cannibal dad said? He said something about getting grandpa, and I like getting people.
He had that long speech as he was eating the dad's
Yeah.
arm, and he had food popping out of his mouth.
So they're in that scene. They're eating a leg of lamb, and I guess he kept cracking up while saying all those things, and they finally got a good take. But yeah, it was some rough stuff.
It was supposed to be Bob's arm that he was eating. The dad that was dead, but it was actually a leg of lamb, and they were all like hungry as hell, and they were actually enjoying what they were eating because they haven't eaten for like the whole day. Like, oh my god, this is so good. So it was pretty fucked up.
You
That was
spilled
probably the best scene of the whole movie.
You spilled my
As
family's
I-
blood. Spilled my family's blood.
Look, what
As
you
as I was watching it, I'm like, who is he talking to? Like he's like in a real bad space right now. Like he needs to. Then the camera pans out to this like
The head.
this mannequin, this
Yeah.
charred mannequin. And I'm like, oh, I get it now. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
His nose was like split down the middle with like skin flapping off of it.
Yeah, that
So-
wasn't the best effect. That probably would have healed up by now, or
Yeah, that
been
probably would've
torn
healed,
off.
like from the 35 years
Yeah.
or 40 years that it's been. That was the origin story for him was pretty was pretty hilarious. And he burned my house down, and he killed my baby girl, and so I hit him in the face with a tire iron. I'm like, son of a bitch.
And I
really?
dropped him in the middle of the desert and left him there because he wasn't going to last 2 hours anyway.
I thought he'd only live for 2 hours.
That kid's day got from bad to worse. Holy shit. Your father hit you, split you in half with a tire iron.
Well, and I don't understand.
He throws you off in the desert.
I don't understand how he got to 10 years old without problems because he was the grandpa was like, he was born and right from the start we knew there was something wrong with him. He was too big and his balls barely fit out the vagina and like stuff like that.
10 years old when he came out. He was 10 when he came out of the womb or something.
And he's like, we knew there was something wrong and blah blah. And then all of a sudden it skips. So then with 10 years old, I'm like, whoa. Well, what happened like in between that time when you knew there was something wrong with him and he wasn't right?
So was he the leader of the Farrell family?
Yeah.
Like the main dad was that the son?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So maybe that mark down his nose was from the tire iron.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Also,
he seems to be as old as the old man that split him with a tire iron.
Yeah, he does seem to be.
No, he doesn't got gray hair or anything. I don't know.
He still seems like an old
And
man.
what is this, the dad Bob or whatever? I'm heading back it's only 15 miles back. It's like, that would take you about 5 hours at least.
Oh God, yeah, he's got a heart condition too on top of all that.
He's like, I'll be right back. 15 miles back. No worries. Put my walking legs on and get over there.
Yeah.
And
then Brenda, at that point, Brenda keeps saying, "We're going to be human French fries." She would just won't give it up. She keeps.
I didn't understand that one.
Yeah. Oh, a French fry.
So hot
Would
out
you
there.
shut the fuck up about French fries?
Yeah. What the hell is a human French fry?
I'm gonna eat you like human French fries. I will eat your balls one by one. You kill my family.
And then they leave. Yeah. They leave. They left. Easy pickings now. Pretty girl. Yeah. So funny when they're talking as they're looking through the telescope. Like, what all these weird voices coming from?
I just have a couple notes about viewing the movie and then some fact notes. And I just wanted
I have some fact notes too.
I just wanted to do a couple viewing the movie notes. Well, like when they're attacking them in the camper and supposedly the blonde girl had just got raped, which it doesn't really even look like it. It just looked like they were struggling for a minute,
Yeah.
And the guy comes in and he's fucking with Dee Wallace and she's like trying to pass her the knife. It's like, stand the fuck up and walk over there and stab him. It's like, why are you crawling on the floor? Get up and go stab him. Don't just try to like pass her the knife.
She was traumatized from getting raped.
I'm sorry, but no. If someone's killing is it their sisters, right? Are they sisters?
No. I think they're just friends. Like Dee Wallace and the other guy, Martin, are like married and they're just friends of the family, I think.
Or no, because it was his. I thought the guy with the mustache and the blonde guy were brothers, or is that wrong?
No, they're just
like
friends.
brother-in-laws or something.
I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Well, Dee Wallace and her boyfriend have the same last name, Wood, and all the rest of them are Carter. So I think they're married and they're just friends of that family.
How weird.
Maybe.
All right. Well, also, the dog is super fucking smart. Like, who just owns a dog that's smart that can bring walkie-talkies back and forth?
Beauty and the Beast, man.
Yeah.
I can't believe that fucking Brenda let Beauty out. Then she loses Beast. God.
Yeah.
They're not geniuses here.
Yeah.
And then they obviously have a plan towards the end when he leaves with the radio and he's trying to call back to the trailer to let them know that they're coming, but they're not even listening at all. It's like, what the fuck? Or didn't you have a plan to use the radios? I don't know. That frustrated me. And then obvious floppy baby when she's running with it. I don't know if you guys saw that.
The hands flailing out. And obviously it was a fake body when they were putting out Bob's engulfed, flamed body out. That was definitely a fake body.
Yeah, they nailed him to a tree and then lit him on fire, and they didn't have any trees out there, and so they used quickly and quietly used a Joshua tree and burnt it all up, which I guess is a protected species out there or something like that. So they weren't supposed to do that. Interesting.
Oh, shit.
Rebels.
So this Wes Craven, I watched the documentary, and it's on YouTube. You guys could check it out. The Making of the Hills Have Eyes.
I checked it out too.
And apparently Wes Craven grew up never seeing movies, and the only movies he ever saw in theaters till about college were some Disney movies. And so once he hit college and had the freedom, like most people hit college and they have the freedom, and it's she just fucks like 50 guys. But with Wes Craven, it was like, horror movies, and not horror movies, but just movies in general. I'm going to just watch a ton of movies, and he fell in love with movies instantly. And so yeah, it took him there, and he finished college, but then everyone was like, or his professor was like, you need to work on your PhD. And he's like, well, I really just want to work on movies and go into movies. And the professor laughed at him, and obviously he became,
and then he quit.
Yeah. But then I
can't believe he didn't watch his first movie until he got to college. His first like horror movie in theaters.
Yeah, or just movie besides Disney. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
He didn't want to. Of course, the first movie he made was Last House on the Left, and it was successful for what it was. A $90,000 budget, and it hit. But he said that he didn't want to make a horror movie after Last House on the Left because of the reception it got. It was just so many people were mortified by it, and they'd see him, and some people would be awkward around him because he made this horrific movie. And he said he held out as long as he could until he was broke and had to make another horror movie, which was this movie. So turned out good.
Yeah, and I think Peter Locke was the producer and just told him, you need to write something. Just write some horror again, because he didn't want to write anything horror again. But then he went to the library and found out about the story based on this movie, which I was just actually looking at.
Yeah, well,
so
yeah. Well, sorry, I was going to say, and he said, Peter Locke. So basically, Peter Locke and Wes Craven made this movie, just the two of them, almost. I mean, they hired a small crew, but they were the driving force behind this movie, and it's just two friends, basically. And yeah, Peter Locke was like, I'll be down in Vegas with my wife, so just write something that has to do with the desert. While we're down there, we'll go out into the desert, we'll shoot it.
Exactly.
And so just write a script that has to do with the desert, horror. And yeah, so Wes Craven had been into a lot of Greek mythology, and he just took a trip to the public library and looked up their murder and mayhem section.
Yeah.
And I know you were about to say it, but yeah, he based it on this family called the Shawnee Bean family that was 16th or 17th century, was this actual family that lived in a cave on the side of the mountains, and they would
the Highlands of Scotland. Yeah,
they would prey on travelers passing by and would eat them, and they lived in this cave that was by the sea. So when the tide came in, you couldn't find them. You couldn't find the entrance to the cave, and finally a survivor escaped and ran back and told the king, and they sent people out to go get this family, brought them back and tortured them all kinds and put them to death. So it was a crazy story.
Executed them without a trial.
Yeah, see, I had no idea. That's awesome.
Yeah. I said it might have been more awesome if they didn't have the budget, but if they did the actual story, back in the 16th, 17th century.
Really crazy.
Yeah. So
yeah, and it's kind of cool because like the family, and this is kind of how what happened to the people back in the Sonny Bean story. The family in this story in this movie had no choice but to fight back and be killers themselves because they were in the middle of the desert. And that's what was so cool about it, because there's no help anywhere.
The cannibal speech would have gone different back then. I doth eat your nads, thy villain. I got nothing.
They would eat them.
Dost thou like the way I nibble on those testicles?
I will now take thy leave so that I may nibble on thy severed nipple.
There's actually a photo of the Sonny Bean family, like an old Greek mythology photo of the main guy with the girl in the background, and she has a severed leg that she's carrying back into the cave. There's like blood dripping out of it. So I'm actually looking at it right now. It's kind of a cool.
I will take
photo.
the leg. Does thy lady protest?
Does thy lady protest? Too much blood.
Ooh. So Peter Locke, we said, was the producer, and Wes Craven is apparently a very introverted, easygoing guy. And so Peter Locke was on the set the whole time, just trying to push it, making it on time, under budget, and so a lot of people weren't he wasn't their favorite person, but Wes Craven.
He was
good friends.
Peter Locke was acting more like the director than like Wes Craven was, because he was just too involved as being a producer. They're saying like Wes Craven took his time, wanted to make sure everything was right and looked good, and wasn't like as all up in arms as Peter Locke, because Peter Locke would be behind Wes Craven saying like, all right, shoot, come on, we have a time budget here. And like Wes Craven, they kind of butted heads in that sense during this movie.
Wes Craven was your typical artsy director trying to really create his vision and get everything in every shot, and Peter's the businessman. And Peter actually makes a cameo as Mercury, the one that the dog pushes off the cliff. So.
Yeah. Which was kind of funny. Didn't he see the dog coming?
I don't know. It was a horrible acting job. He basically...
it was pretty rough.
I felt like he was just doing an impression of someone with Down syndrome, and I felt bad.
Yeah. This time we can eat the brains.
This time I tell you a joke.
Yeah. And they're all laughing. Yeah. Good job, Mercury. Good job, Mercury.
So they filmed this in Apple Valley outside of Victorville in the Mojave Desert, where
about 100 miles from L.A.
And it would get up to 116 degrees during the day while filming, and then at night it would go right down to 40 degrees. So
Isn't that crazy how that changes, man?
Yeah, that would be brutal.
It was a rough shoot. It was Peter Locke's and Wes Craven's first time shooting in the desert, so they didn't really know what to expect. So the first time they went out there to check out the spot, they actually just found a map, said, okay, we should shoot here. And they found this cool rocks and cliffs and like eerie spot. And they brought like a water bottle and like a 6-pack of Pepsi. And they like went through all their liquids, and they were about to leave, and the car wouldn't start. And finally, after like the third crank, it started. Like, okay, yep, this is perfect. That's a sign. So they ended up shooting there. Like, all right, here we go.
It was this one.
I guess
Well, this one was a rough shoot. They basically went out there with the actors, and I think it was like 12 crew members or something, and it was not pretty at all. They had a couple Winnebagos they'd take out there with water and shade, and they would just get the actors dirty, and it was hot as fuck, and it was a passion project for sure for these actors. So,
yeah,
I'm sure that made it kind of fun though to work on it. I'm sure it sucked, but I'm sure that was probably more entertaining than just sitting there, in a set somewhere.
Holy Lord above! That means, oh God! Speaking of nipples being severed and eaten,
holy shit!
That means it's time for the horror halftime. Did we get it? Did we get it, Rob?
I think it's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I don't know. Our connection's not the best. Horror halftime. So we do have some meme participants, and we have a winner this week. And I'm going to have Rob announce the horror freak of the week. So, Rob, who's the winner?
Adam Brooks.
Adam Brooks with what is Skechers meme? Is that what we got? Rob?
Yeah, like there's a Skechers. It was a Skechers meme. And it said, we unanimously agree that Skechers suck.
Anonymously.
We anonymously
agree.
Nice.
He put a nice Scottyism in there, too.
Thanks, man.
So
Thanks
it
so
was
much, brother.
Mad props. That was awesome. Somebody listened and enjoyed the Scottyisms.
Thank you.
And that was a great meme.
Yes.
It was good to see. It was good to see Caroline or whatever the heck her name was with Skechers on.
No, it was not good to see that at all. But
it wasn't. But it's good to see on the meme.
So yeah, horror freak of the week. Shoot us a message on the page so that we can send you some free gear. And so next week, let's let's get these Hills Have Eyes memes in there. We got
so many good ones.
We got crying Karen or whatever her name was over here. We got fucking the dad and his awesome speech. We got the
Crazy Pluto,
yeah,
Michael Berryman. Yeah.
So get those in, guys. Submit those in the group, facebook.com Cult Classic Horror. We have a group that's off the hook, and so you just need to submit your horror halftime meme there with a hashtag horror halftime, so we'll be able to find it, and then you can win probably one of our awesome CCH shirts because they're really soft and comfortable, and Rob knows.
No, the new shirts are absolutely awesome. They got the logo on them, but yeah, you really want one of these because you're gonna just be awesome.
Yeah,
you're just gonna be swimming in
UTTOTPHJ under the table over the pants hand job. And
nice and soft.
The shirt will not chafe your nipples.
If you're walking out in CCH style.
All right, that concludes the horror halftime. So, really, the blonde girl who was crying like a baby really nailed the part because I guess during the auditioning process, it was just crying. Like, can you go ahead and cry now? Cry. Let's see you cry. Cry. And even for the guys.
Susie Lanier is her name.
Nailed it.
Yeah, she was a little obnoxious to say.
Yeah. Oh, God. She like blew my eardrums out. I couldn't hear anything. I'm like, God.
Crying.
Yeah, that's what Robert Houston was saying. That's what his main audition piece was to come in front of Wes Craven and Lockie and just cry, like just stand there and cry. And then he ended up getting the part of Bobby. But actually, there was a guy that read the script before him that was supposed to get Bobby, but he read the script and hated it and turned it down. So they came back to Robert Houston and he accepted the part.
And blonde scream queen, her agent was like, don't be in the movie. It'll ruin your career. Maybe it did because of how fucking annoying she was. But she was pretty cute in it, I thought.
Yeah. No. She had a lot of things that were going for her. For sure, but it was a little too much.
When they celebrated, when they blew up the trailer, that was a little over the top too.
Yeah, it's like your whole family just died. You shouldn't be celebrating right now.
Yeah, but I mean, you take the win. Okay?
Yeah, you gotta take the win.
You win one, you take the win.
You gotta take it.
The other one, I'd say like my favorite character out of all of them, and I think he did very good job, was the mustachioed brother-in-law. I can't remember his name, but he did very good. The little brother did pretty good too. He was a little over dramatic about the dog situation. But no, there it was. I'm going to just come out and say I don't really love this movie. But there were definite good things about it to where there's a lot of forgivable things. Like there is nothing forgivable about Exorcist Part 2, and there is nothing forgivable at all about like the Crazies and Marvin. Like, those movies are bad.
I don't know, man. I like this movie.
Martin.
They also
Martin.
What's up, Martin? He's the man.
Oh, Martin.
The other what? The other piece to this audition was they had foot races because they wanted Ruby to be super fast.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's how what's her name? Part of the reason she got the part, she beat everyone in a foot race.
Yeah,
so that's
and they were saying, Wes Craven kept saying that she was too cute and looked too like put together, so they kept like adding dirt to her and like blacking her teeth up to make her look like one of the Farrell families, you know. So, but she ended up getting the part because she was fast.
Let's talk a little bit about Michael Berryman. He's basically the face of this entire franchise, or this movie.
Like, is it? I mean, him and the rest of the Farrell family are like in it just as much, but he just looks.
Yeah, no, they were just like, we're going to take the weirdest looking motherfucker and put him on the cover.
But the crazy part is that he doesn't even look that weird. I mean, I mean, that's the one thing about him to me, which was all kind of strange, was that they just all look like Flintstones.
Yeah.
Like they all look like they're just like wearing loincloths.
They should have had
they got the teeth hanging from their necklace teeth and stuff. Yeah.
He was probably too young, but they should have had Tiny from what is he in House of a Thousand Corpses? Is that
yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I forgot. Is that what he's called Tiny in? I'm trying to remember. But yeah, the really, really tall fucking deformed guy. He's also in Real Big Fish or Big Fish or whatever the hell that Ewan McGregor movie is.
Yeah.
But
I think he was probably too young at this point in 1977.
But yeah, Michael Berryman, born with like 26 birth defects, had those lacerations in his skull because his cranium wasn't developed properly. But so he looks sort of weird, but then when he talks, he's just this really smart, relatable guy.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of Derek Mears.
Yeah, Mears, who played
Jason in 09.
Oh yeah, he does. He looks just like Derek Mears for sure.
They look alike, but both of them are these huge kind of big bald kind of guys. But but when you hear them talk, they're the most laid back, articulate.
It's sort of like Rob,
the coolest guys.
Sort of like Rob. You look at him and you're like, God, there's something wrong with this guy. And he 28 birth defects, but then he starts talking. You're like, oh, he's not too bad.
He's done learned some stuff in that Florida public school system.
Yeah,
I was reading his bio, and he suffers from hypodrotic ectodermal dysplasia, and it's a condition that leaves him with no sweat glands, hair, fingernails, or teeth.
He doesn't have fingernails?
Imagine shooting in 120-degree weather for 5 months and not having any sweat glands.
Was it 5 months?
I didn't know he didn't have sweat glands. Does he pant like a dog?
I don't know, but yeah,
it all comes out your ass, Rob.
Oh, it just all leaks out of your ass.
Yeah, it's just a constant. You have to wear a diaper. It's a constant flow of sweat coming out your butthole.
Yeah, exactly. You got.
I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Was this really a 5 month shoot?
That's what it says. It says that he was the most he didn't complain at all. He would always give the other cast members shit for complaining, and he came to work every day and loved doing it. And that's what it says. It says that he worked on the movie for 5 months in 100+ degree heat with no sweat glands.
Jeez.
So it's
just sweat pouring out his ass. People wonder where he's at. They just follow the trail.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sort of like Clive Barker and his cigarette butts.
Yeah. Just follow this. Just follow the trail. The drippy trail in the dry sand in the desert. We'll find him. He's not lost.
The crew they hired for this Peter Locke knew. And they had done a bunch of Corman films, Roger Corman films, and so they were more experienced than Wes Craven was. And I guess at first they were, I don't know, a little mouthy or attitudey for the first couple of weeks. But once they saw the vision that Wes Craven had and that this could turn out to be a really cool film, they sort of got on board with the project.
Yeah. So. Yeah, many of the props used were actually from Robert A. Burns' previous project, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And Wes Craven did admit that there were similarities to the original Texas Chainsaw, and that was his intention because he was a huge fan of Tobe Hooper's film.
So Bob Burns was the art director on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then he came straight from that to be the art director on this. And it took, if you'll notice, the cannibal's home has all these, netting and skins and stuff, and that stuff came straight
Skeletons
off. That stuff came straight off the set of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. What? Oh, I already talked about the leg of lamb for Papa meat. Papa Jupiter eating up Papa Bob.
Yeah. Dude, he just had a consistent just meat hanging out of his mouth the whole time. We should, that would be a great meme, just meat hanging out of his mouth.
I'm gonna eat your nipples off, and then I'm gonna slice your butt cheeks like a slab of butter, like a butter knife going through hot butter. Wait, I said that wrong. Like a hot knife going through butter, and I'm just going to eat up your ass cheeks, and I'm not even going to shave the hair off.
No.
I think that's what he said.
Yeah, that's exactly. Sure. It was all muffled in greatness. It was beautiful, beautiful speech.
What's the blonde girl's name? That's the annoying one. Do we actually know what her?
Yeah, it's Susie Lanier, I think.
Susie Lanier.
Susan Lanier. Yeah.
So she, in her interview, she's like, "Yeah, before the rape scene, it was really high tension, and so, but while the curtain was closed and we were getting ready, I just told Michael Berryman that we should. I just told him, let's just like actually make out." And then they pulled the curtain back, and they were actually making out, and like looked like an intimate scene, and so everyone laughed, and we really broke the ice that way, and I really raised the tension. And I think back to that, and I really think it was just her being a whore.
Yes, most certainly.
I want to make out with the weird guy.
Oh my God! I just want to like make out with somebody right now.
She was annoying, but she did what they wanted her to do, and she was fairly good at it. She was good at freaking out.
Yeah, Michael Berryman was probably like, okay, well, let's just take this as a perspective here, all like serious and stuff. But you wouldn't think he was because of the way he's really
he's professionally trained. This will definitely bring some realism to the part. I think she's just back there, just like, oh God, I'll just stick your tongue down there.
Yeah.
Oh. And Wes is like, no, we're not doing this. No. And like Michael Berryman had to like put a sexual harassment charge on her. Like, she's a bit aggressive. She's
like, wouldn't it be funny if you actually put your penis in my vagina? Let's just do that real quick, like before they roll.
No.
You can, while you're doing that, wouldn't it be really funny if you like jammed like 4 of your fingers as far as you can up my ass? Wouldn't that be funny?
I'm trying to be serious here, but if you want me to do it, I guess I'll have to do it.
Wouldn't it be
Wes,
funny?
I think we're going to just have to like, you have to give me like 20 minutes here.
Yeah.
I got to call myself.
Could you guys leave that curtain closed for a good 20 while we just get into character? Do not, I repeat, do not open it before that, because it will ruin the entire process.
I have to get into this role here. Okay, this you can't just turn it on. Okay, I need time.
You want this rape scene to look good? Give me a minute.
The cast and crew, I guess we're saying if the baby dies, we're leaving set. Like if it turns out that the baby dies, we're out of here.
Because Wes Craven, the idea actually having the baby killed in the film was considered by Wes Craven, and they all said, "No, we're going to leave." And then he's like, "Okay, fine, we won't do that. We'll go a different route," and they did.
Yeah, Wes over there pouting.
Fine. I wanted to kill the baby.
Alive.
God damn it. And I already talked about how smart that dog was, but they really did have a smart dog and a handler on set there. The dog would, I guess, would bite down on Michael's moccasin there, and the trainer would tell it how much to bite down, and it would only bite down that much, and it wouldn't bite down any more than that, and it wouldn't let go until the trainer told it to. So
really,
that's pretty amazing.
Wow. Yeah, and actually the dead dog used as a stand-in for the family's slaughtered German Shepherd Beauty was in fact a real dog, and actually already dead dog that Wes Craven and Peter Locke had bought from the county sheriff's department before shooting the
How
scene.
do you buy a dead dog?
I guess one of their K9 unit dogs died, and maybe they were gonna go bury him. Like, wait, can we use him for
this whole bite down thing? I actually had a girlfriend in high school trained the same way.
So just a little bit of teeth.
It would only bite down a little, and it wouldn't bite down anymore. And she would hold on until you told her to release.
And then she died, and you bought her back from the sheriff's department, right? So you can play with her more.
Exactly.
I just wonder how that conversation went. Like, yeah, that's sad. That's sad, Sheriff. Yeah, no. So, how much you want for the dead dog?
Yeah, exactly.
It was a good dog. One of our canine, rest in peace, Officer, Rufus or whatever. And yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, it's sad. I
could give you $5 for him.
I can give you like, $5 cash. I mean,
pack of Miller High Life.
Yeah, you want a cameo in the movie? I mean, look, I'm not leaving here without that dog. So yeah,
we need that dead dog. We need that dead dog.
It's going to tie the whole movie together. You don't seem to understand. We have to have that body.
We have to.
His intestines are out of his stomach. That's even better. Just please give us the dog.
Obviously low budget. They only had one shot at that trailer explosion, and they made it work. That thing went off. And I don't know how he could have lit the door and not just been blown to smithereens, but he was.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, he was still alive somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, he went and body slammed Bobby, and then the girl Brenda finally did something right and hit him in the back with a hatchet.
Finally, God, she didn't just like toss him the hatchet and be like, "Here, you do it."
Yeah, exactly.
We had these rattlesnakes at the end too, and they had a snake handler, and I guess this guy was just rough looking, looked like he lived in the desert handling snakes, which he probably did, and it was just funny to hear Wes Craven talk about him. He's basically like, yep, I got the snake, give it here, yep, I got it, here we go. And
well, the snake actually escaped from the cage.
I guess they bring the snake there frozen, like really cold, so that it's sort of dormant and not moving fast. And I guess it had time to thaw while they were setting up, and they opened the box the snake was in, and he said it just flung out of there, like flew out and right at their feet. And everyone's like jumping off to the side, like, oh my God. And he just said basically the snake holder's like, I got it. I
got this, don't worry.
And I think he said that they, quote unquote, milked the snake so that there was no venom in it, so it wasn't really poisonous anymore.
Ooh, snake milk.
Milked that snake. Rob, I know what you're thinking when I said milk the snake.
I'm just sitting here just enjoying it. If I was on set and their quote unquote professional snake handler showed up and the snake lurched and dove out, I would have been done. It's just I don't do
quote unquote professional. I guess when you looked at this guy, I imagine basically one of the cannibal costumes, but in real life with like a raccoon hat on.
They all told me that collecting snakes would never do anything. And look at me now, Ma. Look at me now. Shit! There he goes. Oh God. Oh,
I got him.
I got him.
Don't worry.
This one's a little risky. He just wants to play with you.
Don't worry. We milked the snake already. Wait, what? What's so funny? Yeah, that's my little joke. We get it. We milked the snake already. Yeah. And then the only other one laughing is Blondie over in the corner. Milk the snake. Milk the snake. What he's talking about. Milk the snake. As she grabs for Berryman's crotch over and over again. Stop it.
Damn it.
Stop it.
Quit grabbing my crotch. I guess the girl that played Ruby, Janice Blythe, refused to pick up the rattlesnake, but then Peter Locke, who had no idea what to do, was scared of snakes too, went and picked up the snake and got freaked out. So since he did it, she was able to do it with a little stick, and the scene worked. Got snake to the neck. I don't know. I guess that works, huh?
Wouldn't it be funny if before they pulled the curtain back, if you held my asshole open with these clamps right here that I just happen to have in my pocket, and then and look in here, and you took this spoon and you just ate it out till it was empty and raw.
What are we? Which one are we talking about?
Sorry, I'm going back to Blondie and the rape scene.
I thought we were talking about Janice Blythe because that's what I just said.
No,
I was picturing that too.
But she didn't want. Yeah, she didn't want to pick up the snake, and she made Peter Locke do it first, so that before she would do it.
Yes.
And she said that he went over and basically was like tapped it. Was like, I did it. Now you have to do it. Anyways, this film came out. Do you guys still got me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I thought because of our difficulties, I lost you for a minute. When this film came out, it had the title Blood Relations, which is pretty clever, I think. Blood Relations. But Peter Locke hated it, and so they took a bunch of opinions, went through hundreds of titles, and I forgot who it was. Maybe it was Peter Locke or someone came up with The Hills Have Eyes. Wes Craven didn't like it at all, but through some form of testing, it tested the best with potential viewers or something, and so they went with it. And
Yeah. Hills it.
And
I thought that'd be better than blood relations. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Blood Relations is pretty clever, though. I mean, you got this sort of inbred family and cannibals, and I don't know.
I think. I mean, I just some of there's always great titles that never made it, but I can see why in certain because that's just not catchy. I don't think it's like The Hills Have Eyes is pretty catchy.
That's true.
It really sticks with you.
That's true. It did have it started to have a successful opening. They took it to a bunch of these like regional smaller theaters and, did a little press junket. They went around to some theaters, and every theater it released in, it did well, and it was like selling out. It was getting these audience reactions. Of course, it did have an X rating when they first tried to release it, and they had to cut it down. And you could just, in the interview, you could hear Wes Craven's frustration with that and how he still, and this interview was done, I mean, he was pretty old in the interview, so he said he's still frustrated to that day about it, how you can just work so hard on this thing and make a movie, and then someone who has nothing to do with it just tells you to make it different,
Yeah.
So,
well, it started to be it was going to be an X rating because they had so much stuff that was more gruesome that they wanted to keep in the film, but Wes Craven had to cut the film to an R rating to get that, that movie theater release, which kind of sucked. And I don't even know if there's an uncut version out there, but I guess supposedly there was a lot more.
I don't know either. And so like I was saying, it was doing good in theaters. It was like opening weekend was great, but I think it was either second or third weekend that Smokey and the Bandit came out and just like crushed everything and washed everything out of theaters, and so they said it probably would have had a lot better run if Smokey and the Bandit didn't come out right after it.
Yeah.
You can't try to fight Burt Reynolds.
No,
he's going to win every time.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah,
of course,
look at this hat. It's too big. It's funny.
Reynolds.
funny.
Reynolds.
It's funny. His hat's too big.
I got my Pontiac Firebird.
It's a funny hat.
Funny hat.
Norm Macdonald does do a good Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, he does.
I think of Norm Macdonald's. When I hear Burt Reynolds, I don't think Burt Reynolds. All I think is Norm Macdonald. I don't even picture Burt Reynolds.
So I don't know, Rob. I like this movie. I thought
I thought it was pretty good. There was some acting stuff and some effect stuff that was kind of cheesy, but other than that, it was.
I don't
pretty good.
think there's a remastered, at least that I could find, version out there. The quality was really bad, but it was still a good movie, I thought.
Yeah,
I like the story a lot. I think it's very original. Like I said, it was just having to deal with some of the like just really cheesy effects, but I understand it was mid 70s and it was a low budget movie, but the story is actually really good, and unlike Wes Craven's teeny bopper kind of stuff that he's more famous for, this and Last House on the Left are fairly gruesome movies.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
And there his first two films, and so it's he
came out swinging with his first.
What was? Oh, dude, he's like, "Fuck! I'm gonna make it so fucked up, people won't even know."
I wish we would have seen more of this Wes Craven, to be honest.
Yeah, we didn't. See
I agree, because I'm not a huge Krueger fan. I'm just not a big Freddy fan. The first one was good. But then they just turned into like MTV. It was built for teenage girls to a certain extent, I think. For a lot of it was very, very pretty actors and and Krueger was never as gruesome in the later movies, I don't think, as he was. in the first one. And then Scream is basically that. I mean, Scream is, enter the 90s, and it's just, you could tell there was so much stuff. It was like I wonder how much stuff hit the editing floor, because they're like, no, it's just supposed to be gory and funny and not supposed to be scary, or not. I would say scary, but like intense.
How many?
Like Last House on the Left touches on really intense topics, like with the rapes and all that stuff and just brutality. And this movie, the sequel, I remember a lot better, and it is brutal. I mean, it is absolute. And there's not a. I think what makes these more brutal is they're not supernatural forces. These are just people.
Yeah,
and
last people, ordinary people.
It's really intense.
Those were back in the good old days when you actually used a real running chainsaw, and so had to be super careful with it and make the slowest chainsaw scene ever.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why it took forever for Last House on the Left to film that scene.
How many dead babies would there be in Wes Craven's movies if he had just total free license to do whatever he wanted in them?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that's what Scream would have been.
And
the first draft of Scream,
a dead baby fest,
a baby killer. Yeah.
He had to use 2 in this movie too. There was 2 Katies, but only one got credited for it. But there was 2 babies that were used throughout this film, because
Craven's over there in the background. Look, we got 2.
Yep. We don't need 2. We can kill 1.
Yeah. One's a star. 2's too many. You know what I mean? Like, Wes, we're not killing babies. You won't let me do anything. You won't let me do anything that I want to do.
And of course, this movie, of course, was the series of intertextual references between Sam Raimi and Wes Craven.
Yeah, which we did talk about already during the Evil Dead episodes.
So this is where it all started, though, and then we see the 1975 Jaws ripped in half within the looted trailer, and then that's when Raimi retaliated with The Hills Have Eyes ripped in half and Evil Dead.
Yeah, so it started with the Jaws one, right? With the
with the Jaws ripped in half. Yeah, exactly.
But
I didn't see it. Did you guys see it?
In what?
I saw the Jaws. I saw the Jaws poster.
Wait,
the poster was in the trailer.
In Hills Have Eyes?
Yeah.
Hills Have Eyes when they're leaving the trailer after.
Oh, okay, so it did start with this one. Okay, it did start with this one.
Yeah, and it's because it was basically him saying that this is going to be this shatters Jaws. This is much scarier than Jaws, which was like 1973 or something.
Yeah,
75. Yeah. And so he's saying this is putting Jaws to bed.
So then Evil Dead
came back and was like, no, this is going to beat you.
So he puts the ripped Hills Have Eyes poster in the basement in Evil Dead. Yeah. So
and then on Nightmare on Elm Street, and then they're watching Evil Dead, and they're saying that this is the Evil Dead, Freddy Krueger's real horror, and not Evil Dead. Whatever.
And they did it in Scream too. There was in Scream, they were either watching Evil Dead or they had, when they were at the video store where the one nerdy guy works, he brought to the party like Evil Dead. Like they made sure to pan and show one of the VHS cassettes was an Evil Dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
By then, Sam Raimi's like, I've kind of won this. Like, Like I didn't even see Scream. Like Wes is probably waiting for that phone call. Like, Sam's gonna call me, and Sam's like, I didn't even watch it. I mean, I've heard things like that Nev Campbell. Yeah, she sure does. That Skeet Ulrich is scary, isn't he?
Hey, Matthew Lillard is the man.
Matthew Lillard is the only thing that saves that movie for me.
Yeah.
Because I like Matthew Lillard.
He's great. Yeah,
and Rose McGowan. McGowan. But Rose McGowan gets killed by like a garage door or something.
That's right. Right.
Yeah. Tacoed in half.
So I thought this movie was good, and it was a little refreshing to have some raw, fucked up content.
It was. And just the feel was good. Out in the middle of the desert, even the music and sound effects were creepy and stuff too. And like I said, there was some cheesy stuff, but overall, I enjoyed it.
Well, let's move on to our what's did you watch this week? And I don't know that I don't know. Do you have? I know you have something, Rob, right?
Well, I watched the same movie.
Well, we all three went and watched it, which I think we'll have to.
Oh yeah. We did.
Yeah, we all watched it. Yep.
Duh.
We all watched it within like a day of each other, and then I watched Death Note on Netflix, and I was so surprised and happy with that movie.
Really?
That movie was awesome.
I was going to watch it on Monday, but it got too late. I didn't.
Michael Butler, our blogger, posted that he didn't like it, or that it was like no effort put into it.
I don't think I heard that it's like a remake of an anime type thing. So maybe it just was kind of like a remake of it. And there wasn't much. I don't care. It was super original story. Even though I guess it's a remake of it, it doesn't matter. The original story was really original. It was really good. I think Danny will really appreciate the soundtrack. It had a really good score.
Yeah.
And it's just it's just interesting. It's an interesting take on a story that could have, in my opinion, been super bland and stupid. A kid basically finds a notebook, and the notebook is possessed by a demon, and whoever possesses the notebook is in control of this like demon genie, but it only grants wishes of death. You can only you write something in the notebook, who and how they want to die, and it does it for you. And of course, there's there's always a catch, and it's just really good. It's just a really good, fun movie, and there's some really awesome, inventive deaths in it, because obviously whoever has the book can write. He would write something like so and so decapitation, and then they'll be decapitated in this just absolutely wacky way.
Like Final Destination meets something
like Final
else.
Destination.
Yeah,
and it's just really good. It was really good. It was really fun. And that was my new. I did watch that and Be Afraid, and I didn't. Be Afraid was some stupid sleep paralysis thing. It was. It wasn't very good.
Oh, really?
Another sleep paralysis movie, huh?
Yep, and it's on Netflix too.
I think I did save it because I want to see what these movies are.
Be Afraid.
Well, it's, in my opinion, it's worse than the one that
Dead Awake.
Yeah, it's worse than Dead Awake.
I'm telling you guys, go to the Patreon and support, because we got the best sleep paralysis script in the wings, waiting to be made. That we will make. Oh, we will make it, and it will blow those out of the water.
We might just have to make it right now.
We might have
anything
to.
Else. No.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. I know that they've been making a couple, but holy crap, there's no competition.
Yeah.
That Dead Awake was. Oh, it's friggin'. I almost turned it off. The only reason why I watched it because Danny was like, "You have to watch it. You have to finish this awful movie."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I watched. Oh, I just went and saw it, obviously, and we're talking about doing a podcast on that, but I have to watch the miniseries again before we do that. And that's really long, and so we got to plan that out. And but I thought it was good. I'll just leave it with that. Good effects. Finally, a horror movie that had a big budget, and they actually did something with the budget. There was some lulls here and there, but it was good. Besides that, I don't think I watched anything else this week because I've been traveling and stuff.
It was it for me.
Yeah, I was about to watch a movie the other night, and then I caught up. Instead, I caught up on some Doom on PS4. That's what it was.
Dude.
Oh, you hadn't even sent me an invite to play PS4. I see how it is.
Well, I never play online ever. I guess I need to start doing that.
You're more of a solo guy.
You got to rock it, man. I just got a PS4 with the new Friday the 13th game, and it's awesome.
Well, is that what else?
I saw that. I saw that someone in the fan page posted like a thing about the Friday the 13th game.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
So good.
What else? What else do you play online, Rob?
I played that. Dead by Daylight. Jonathan Brindle told me about. The new Call of Duty. Battlefield 1 and damn it, what's the other one? Oh, I guess Destiny. My brother has got me kind of playing it, but I need to get Doom because I've never played that.
Yeah, maybe we'll hook up once once we have the same game. Anyways,
hook up.
We'll hook up.
I'm not much of a gamer.
We'll touch tips digitally. Okay.
In real life soon.
Yeah, soon enough. Well, I think that wraps up Hills Have Eyes episode.
Yeah.
Make sure to get your memes in for next week so that you can win one of our awesome soft shirts. And get them in at the group Cult Classic Horror on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook at Cult Classic Horror, and also on Instagram at Cult Classic Horror, Twitter at CC Horror. I'm at Danny Bonin on everything. Scotty Bonin on everything, and the Rob, right, on everything, or the Rob O'Neill. It's Rob O'Neill, so one of them.
I believe it's the Rob 1986 on the Insta tweets.
The Rob 1986,
and then CCH podcast on Snapchat.
Nice.
All right, guys.
Nice.
Well, thanks for joining us, and
thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys next week.
Hills Have Eyes 2.
Later.
Don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Oh, yes. There will be blood.